1, 2, 3. To think there are only 10 of them. The conditions for returning to the home continent from the planar battlefield are truly rigorous. There were so many of you before, yet now only this handful remains. It seems, your sins are indeed grave, to have caused such chaos within the planar battlefield. Damn it! Wait, if I slaughter them so brutally that they end up scattered in pieces, wouldn't that terrify the others back on the Starfall continent, making them too afraid to ever return? That won't do. That simply won't do. One must root out evil completely. I shall let these sinners die with a shred more dignity, lest I scare off the rest of them. He uses branches and leaves to channel spiritual energy into them, sustaining their lives. Gaoan, it was I, your humble subordinate, who sustained their lives. I beg the sect leader's pardon. The adversary hails from the upper realm. If my existence were to be exposed to the eyes of the upper realm, it could invite far graver consequences. I beg the sect leader's forgiveness for not intervening directly. Say no more. Gaohun, I owe you 10 lives. You say the enemy hails from the upper realm. Presumably, then, you recognize him. What exactly is the enemy's background? How was he able to breach the barrier with such ease? Because, in a sense, he is the upper realm's ultimate weapon within the planar battlefield, designed to purge destabilizing elements, or to punish disobedient continents. He has existed since the very moment of my own inception. Does that not mean we are pitted against an ancient monstrosity that has existed for tens of thousands of years? Are we left with no choice but to completely abandon the planar battlefield, our sole foothold? Sect Leader, the planar battlefield may not be quite what you imagine. Although the planar battlefield was indeed created through the combined efforts of the upper realm's great powers, they did not conjure this world out of thin air. Through the souls I have absorbed, I have come to understand that, in the primordial era, a cataclysmic war took place. A total war erupted between the two most supreme races in the cosmos. That conflict caused countless planes to shatter and collapse. Time and space lost all meaning, giving birth to a place that was, in every absolute sense, a realm of utter death. Later, for reasons unknown, that chaotic, shattered expanse of planes slowly began to merge. It evolved into a natural nexus, a convergence point spanning across multiple planes. It was only later that the upper realm built upon this miraculous foundation to create what is now known as the planar battlefield. Consequently, the planar battlefield cannot be fully controlled by the upper realm. Moreover, the spatial stability within the battlefield is inherently weak. As a result, individuals whose power exceeds the heaven rank cannot long endure within the planar battlefield. This effectively prevents the upper realm from directly deploying forces of overwhelming strength to crush their opposition there. Therefore, if the upper realm wishes to establish absolute dominion over the planar battlefield, it requires a being of invincible power, one who stands supreme even within the heaven rank. That individual, or rather, that creature, is known as Divine Retribution, though I am more accustomed to his other name, the Battlefield Phantom. Invincible within the heaven rank? You mean a peak-level martial sovereign? If I unleash every trump card I have, there's still a chance I could take down a martial sovereign. The heaven rank encompasses far more than just martial sovereigns. In the upper realm, the heaven rank is referred to as the void-breaching realm. However, the void-breaching realm is further subdivided into lower, intermediate, and upper tiers. The martial sovereign you spoke of, Sect Leader, corresponds specifically to the lower void-breaching realm. Yet, the maximum combat power the planar battlefield can sustain is that of the intermediate void-breaching realm. And that is precisely the level I currently inhabit. I attained my current cultivation base by absorbing the souls of those who perished within the planar battlefield. But the soulless corpses left behind were subsequently seized by powerful entities from the upper realm, and fused together to create the battlefield phantom, neither truly living nor truly dead, either to be destroyed nor to be extinguished. He stands at the very pinnacle of the intermediate void-breaching realm. In every instance he has taken action in the past. Every single one of his targets perished, without exception. This knowledge comes from the fragments of memory preserved within the souls I absorbed. Otherwise, given his modus operandi of leaving no survivors, we likely wouldn't have been able to unearth a single shred of information about him. So, this battlefield phantom, this divine retribution, is, in reality, nothing more than a hound employed by the upper realm to maintain control over the battlefield. Immense combat power, yet utterly unkillable. This is a tricky situation. It seems none of my current trump cards are sufficient to deal with him. All disciples are to withdraw to the sect immediately. Until I give the word, no one is permitted to set foot in the planar battlefield. Gaohun, it is no longer safe for you to remain here either. Come back to the sect with us. I shall first impart the art of concealed cultivation to you. That should enable you to remain within the planar battlefield without exceeding the cultivation limit imposed by the Starfall continent. The intermediate void-breaching realm. To think the day would come when I, of all people, would be forced to retreat and avoid the edge of such a petty little wretch's blade. Nevertheless, the sect leader has successfully retrieved the third volume of the 7 Mystic Light Break. Before long, even those at the intermediate void-breaking realm will be left in my dust. However, that precursor to the planar battlefield, the one Gaohun just described, why does it seem so familiar to me? I seem to recall the clan elders mentioning it back then. The lower worlds beneath us had spiraled into such chaos that countless minor planes were shattered. If left unchecked, those lower worlds risked being ultimately devoured by planar turbulence. So, the elders tossed down a minor divine artifact to bind the planar fragments back together. Still, something doesn't quite add up. If the elders themselves intervened, why can this fused plane still only accommodate cultivators up to the intermediate void-breaking realm? Could it be that, after all these years, the planar fragments haven't fully fused yet? And what was that divine artifact called again? I vaguely remember. I think it was a stone statue. This art of concealment is truly remarkable. It has actually suppressed my cultivation realm all the way down to the yellow rank. It's just a little trick we at the All Time Sect use in our daily routine of playing the pig to eat the tiger. Gaohun, let's move out. The enemy currently holds the advantage while we are at a disadvantage. It's not yet the right time to go head-to-head with the battlefield phantoms. Let's do one final headcount before we head back. We certainly can't afford to leave any disciples behind here. As the sect leader was about to enter the portal to return to the All Time Sect, after ordering the disciples to carry the injured away, he suddenly sensed a presence behind him and launched an attack. Judging by that distorted, flickering silhouette of yours, you must be a battlefield phantom. I never expected that, despite possessing strength far superior to mine, you would still resort to a sneak attack. Battlefield phantom? I am Shadow, of the demonic Emperor sect. To think I've been lurking within your very shadow for so long, waiting for the moment you'd finally be all alone. You certainly keep a lot of powerful experts around you. They made me so worried that I didn't even dare to probe my surroundings while I was in hiding. But now that it's a one-on-one fight, my abilities are more than enough to take you down. I am formless and intangible. Your attacks cannot harm me in the slightest. Just stand there in despair and await your death. Ha! Yes, that look of terror on your face. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Ha! All my past enemies have looked just like that. Are you actually looking at me? Why do I get the feeling you're actually staring at something behind me? Hey there,